Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Tarot Oracle time with Cindy, my friends. It's a general collective message because it's general, it may or may not resonate. If it does resonate, I'm glad we're able to connect. If it does not, hopefully the next time, my friends. So I started out with the archetype deck, already got into this reading. It's going to be very interesting. Yeah, okay. So in this reading, specifically, I'm kind of looking into like who you are and how you function and what you've overcome. And then I ask for some sort of outside energy around you because we are not all an island. There are other people around us. And so I ask, who is this other? How does this other function? And then what do they think of you? Okay, so I started with the archetype decks. I'm going to the archetype deck. We're going to get into the tarot and develop it together. So started with this, and I'm going to show you what we pulled out. Who you are the stone, okay. How you function, the medallion. And what you've overcome, the vessel. Who this person is the tear. How they function, the vow. And what they think of you, the seed. Now, it's very interesting because the seed and the stone are only separated by one number. They follow each other in the book. And in the seed, it also talks about how with grit, pearls are produced. You know, like things can become kind of shiny and new, even though they've been made by a period of difficult time. And it can start off looking like something that is a stone. I want to say right now, this person sees you probably in a higher light than you see yourself or even where you are. No, but it's very interesting. Okay, so you are somebody who is very steadfast, loyal. You're very balanced when life becomes kind of frenzy, which is also interesting because the seed does talk about like someone who thrives during difficult times. So this person does see that in you, that when things get difficult, you actually kind of thrive in some way on that. So yeah, discomfort may make you react, or discomfort may really light a fire under your ass. So yeah, so that there's the part of like who you are, but that is I want to say is seen here. Like when things are difficult, you ground, you find balance, you it's almost like you become aware of the ancient existence of your own soul. Okay, I don't know, like the ancient because this also talks about, like the stone also talks about like generational, and like, you know, it can take a stone a long time to change, but the change is there. It does change, even though it may not seem like it's something that is happening very quickly. But again, this person sees the change. So this person sees the change. Ancient, yeah, ancient and eternal kind of presence about you. You might be also, I want to say, you could actually be a very old soul, because this is coming up as like who you actually are. It's not like how you're perceived or seen by anybody. It's like who you actually are is the stone. Some of you, there might even be some type of mineral or actual stone that is associated with you for some reason. Now, how you function, or, you know, what, like, I guess what your motives are. You do uphold tradition. So this is the thing that I find interesting, because when we get to the vessel, like what you've overcome, it kind of contradicts how you function. So upholding traditions and protecting and honoring traditions, bound by agreements. Your word is your honor. Okay, maybe that's, yes, like your word is your honor. And I feel like there could be things that you keep around you that have something to do with tradition, or they have some type of meaning. Because this is about breaking things down. You know what I mean? Like when this card came out with what you've overcome, it seems like kind of like, whoa, where did that come from? Because I'm picking up the energy of someone who I want to say has some pretty relevant and strong earth energy here. This is someone who is very steadfast. This is a very steadfast energy. Right? Because even the whole idea of upholding tradition, and I think about the stone as, describing it, it changes. But you may not notice those changes very quickly, or they don't they happen over time. So I kind of want to say too, like, like some people can change quite quickly. They can be going through a stage in life and all of a sudden they have a whole new outfit, they bought a new car, and it's like everything is totally different about this person. You're like, wow, look at that. Yeah, so-and-so had a glow up, or so-and-so. Yours is, you would probably have the same car. I'm going to say you might have the same car for like decades if you could just keep it going. I feel like the things around you stay the same. How's that? Like maybe the things that you, because even saying that, like that feels like the medallion, like a possession that you would have. Like you might even, you could inherit like a parent's car and you would like keep it. You would keep it for a long time. You're like, yeah, that was mom's car. That was dad's car. That was great Uncle Phil's car. It's taken me a while to really sort this out because this is giving me, I'll tell you what this is. This is giving me the energy of someone who was born into like a family who, it doesn't have to be you, but this is the energy, okay? It's metaphorical at this point. It doesn't have to be your exact story. But this is like the energy of someone who was born into maybe a family and they all did this as a career. You take that path and you do that as a career. And then you follow through with that. You do it every day. And then, right, like, or you could have come from a very unstable environment and nobody knew what the fuck they were doing. And then you picked something like, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm going to do my life. I am going to find the path that nobody else showed me, right? Like, so I don't want to discount, like, no, it wasn't easy, Cindy, because I know a lot of people don't have perfect lives. So, but you, right, there's the balance amongst the frenzy. You have this balance amongst frenzy. I kind of want to say, too, that there's something about your word is your honor. Your word is your honor. Because I find that interesting, because when we get into over here, how this person functions, this person, like, with the vow, it's kind of like someone who hangs on to contracts. So I find that interesting, because you could look at, if you want to think about how things are done, okay, from a very moral standpoint, like being very moralistic, having a set system or guideline that you abide by, and you really don't deviate from that. I want to say, if you were going to make an agreement with someone, let's say you were sitting down, like let's say this is 1950, 1950, and you're sitting down with a contractor. I don't know, somebody's going to come and repave your driveway, or they're going to paint your house, okay? And this person says to you, this is the price, and we will come on this day, and it will take this long to do it. A handshake? Handshake. See, that's what I get from you, all right? Where this person, no, it better be in writing. If it's in writing, that's it. It's in writing. So, because I feel like that's a part of society that's really been lost over time here, where, your word, you follow through on your word. You wouldn't say something if you couldn't commit to it. Like, that's how you function. So it's interesting because I feel like there's a dysfunction between you and this person. I don't know what the relationship is. I feel like I got a bit of an idea. I'm going to put it out there right now. I feel like this could be a past partner, to be honest. It could be even a partner that you have right now. Actually, it could be that too. And this person can see that you're really changing. So, yeah. Okay. Because I want to say, over time, okay, initially, this energy outside of you might come across as being more honorable. But yours is, I want to say, over time, your honor is more understood. So I'm trying to figure out how to word this, because yeah, if you signed anything without reading all the small print and then you found yourself bound to that, you probably have a problem, right? But and I'm going to say in some degree that's your problem, but like, because we do live in a world where your signature has obviously there's a lot of weight that comes in with that when we sign things, because there's something about this. But you will be bound by agreements, but your word is your honor. Ah, okay. Okay, so this is, I'm trying to figure out how this plays out, because you are tradition, you are steadfast, you are loyal, and you are committed. When shit hits the fan, you're there. Okay, but say that, you are. But it's weird, because I want to say this energy outside of you almost looks like, I think it's either a past partner, or it's a partner that you have now, and they're seeing the change in you. But here's the thing, because I know exactly how I can describe this, and you signed it, but your word was your honor, okay? So if you want to think of a marriage contract, so when you stand up in front of people and you say, I will love and honor you and respect you, I will... through sickness and in health, like, you know, like all of those, but that is not in a signed marriage contract, right? Like, it's usually this person on this day in this place and did that, and then this person witnessed it, right? Like, it's very technical. So I'm wondering if there was something that broke down in this relationship because the words that were supposed to be honored were not honored. But this energy over here is all about the contract. Fucking signed it. Yeah, but you didn't honor your word when you fucking signed it. I'm going to, right now I feel like it's feeling like, what was that movie? Well, I can't remember. Anyways. Okay. So this is, what have you overcome? I feel like, because like the vessel, right? So the vessel is someone who is stable and strong and graceful. I don't know, maybe you've overcome needing to be that. I feel like it's more like you've overcome things to actually maybe that's kind of how you become the stone. But this is also, this card is about doing a life assessment and deciding, what is it that needs to be broken? What is it that needs to be repaired? Or what is it that I need to build? So this is a life assessment. This is a very interesting energy. Now that we're really digging into it together, because I was seeing like contradictions here. I'm like, this is somebody who breaks shit apart, but that's what you've overcome. So you've done some type of an assessment here. This doesn't have to be like a marriage between you and this person. It could be a work agreement even between you and a person. I do feel like there's a very strong nuance here about the difference between what you say, what your word is, and then what is written on a piece of paper. And to you, the word is the most important thing. So, okay, to love or, I don't know what it's like, to love and to honor, to respect, all that shit. But, I mean, this could be someone who maybe who lies or would not disclose information. Like, if this is in a committed relationship, there shouldn't really be any lies, right? So that would be like it's about word. But this person over here, it's about the contract. And there's something about this card too. Do you see how like he's really holding her wrist? Like, I gotcha. It does kind of look like that, doesn't it? Like, although, look, actually it's two hands that have come together and then it's one that's holding them together. There's something that feels just very forceful and controlling in that grip. Okay. So, okay, this person is the tear. This person is in melancholy. This person is very likely also like grieving or needs to go through a proper grieving process. So like when I was pulling out these cards, I thought, okay, this person I feel like is probably grieving over the collective in some way. They're likely mourning some type of a loss, probably in a very emotional state even, or they've become that. this, now the tears also talk about like the water is a portal into another area. So this person could be seeing things that they've not seen before through some type of emotional purge or some type of emotion that is being created and stirred up in them at this time. And then here, and then how this person functions is the vow. Promises cannot be broken. That's so interesting too. You promise to have and to hold, but you promise to honor and protect. Like, but that's not in the contract. But that's what you said. So I think that's very interesting, right? It's a very interesting energy. Now, it does talk about with the vow, though. So it can be about ritual. It can be about creating ritual, recreating ritual. So if you want to recreate a ritual here, maybe you need to redo the vows, or you need to create a ritual that dismantles the vows. Or that closes this commitment, right? Like either recommit to it or close the commitment. So I kind of wonder if some of you could be in the process, some of you, of breaking down a relationship, like looking at this reading. And that's what you're overcoming. But no, I'm asking what you've overcome. But that doesn't mean you wouldn't necessarily be in the process of breaking down a relationship, because the overcome part is, what do I build? What do I break? What do I repair? Right? So it's like understanding what that is. So I think you've overcome at least understanding what that is. And you coming off as somebody, I want to say, who, that was the thing that confused me too here, because looking at this, I thought, this looks like somebody who, if this person is going to get married, they're like, I'm in it. We're doing this. But yet, somebody over here who's attached to you somehow through a vow is mourning, is in tear, and you're assessing like, or you've done that. I figured it out. I figured out what I need to build in my life. I figured out what's broken and we can't fix it, or what I need to throw in the trash. And I figured out what in my life I need to repair. What needs to be fixed here? What have I let to deteriorate that needs right? So you've done that. And there's such a nuance here, and I think it says it all in this, like how you function and how this person functions. And that's the best way I can describe it. And yeah, it might not be like wedding vows, like that. But I definitely, like, I see you're the kind of person, my word is my honor. I honored my word here, my word. But they're like, yeah, but you signed a contract. You can't come out of a contract. The contract was broken spiritually the minute the words were no longer honored. But this is kind of like, well, you still bummed. It's just like, yeah, right? Like, I don't know. I could see that. It's interesting. But this person, okay, like they see you. I'm going to say, well, it's interesting too, because this can also be like complex and multi-layered, because there's layers here that create the pearl. Complex and multi-layered. You are complex and multi-layered. It's not all like, so let's say there was someone that you made a vow to, and let's say it was like in a marriage. And it was, well, you know what, yeah, whatever. You can do whatever once you're in that relationship, because we're signed to it, and we're signed to it forever. And I get the impression that you're that kind of person too. It's like, wow, so this is an interesting layer to this person. It really mattered what I said at the end of the day, or, See, and that's the other thing that I find is interesting is agitation and grit causes growth. And you find balance around the frenzy. So that's interesting too. You may just be in a point of like some type of balance here, but this person sees it as growth. So kind of how you see things is different as well. But it can also be from perspective. Like if this person is struggling, or they're struggling emotionally, and you seem like you're okay, wow, they're growing, look at how well they're doing. But you could have just been like, you know what, I'm just fucking balanced at this point. Just like balanced, I'm just steady. Yeah, and thriving in difficult times. You're very fertile in building. Okay, so Okay, the other way I see this too is like, let's say it was a contractor, right? And you're talking to a contractor and the contractor says it'll cost this and it'll cost this much money and it'll take this long to do it. And then you're looking at the contract and it says, oh, well, there's this tiny little print here that says, you know, if quoted price may vary depending on any extra materials needed for, you know, we run into a problem and we need to get some more of this or something happens, right? You know, what's going to happen when you pull out that wall? We don't know what's back there. All right, yeah, I guess, reasonably, yeah. And then, you know, and we're working outside, so weather dependent, you know, like we could get, okay, so you sign it, right? But what happens is this person has now got you to sign a contract and verbally you agreed that this would be the price, but then they changed the price, but it's really not about what, you know, they gave as a possibility through word. It's more like they put the price up a little bit because they wanted to get you to sign it in the first place, so they quoted you. You know, like it's a little sneaky. There's something a little sneaky about, to me, your word followed through once there's a signature applied. I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna do tarot. We'll look at you. Pull like boom. Your first card, just pull the Six of Swords. This is who you are. So you get divine guidance, you know, divine guidance going from here to there and on a life-changing journey. I really honestly want to say, like, I don't feel like whatever you've been through would have been easy for you, because you're not striking me as somebody who would necessarily, even though you might thrive in change, it might not be, and the world might not be the kind of change that you were hoping to have in your life. But yet you are thriving, and that thriving can be seen as in different ways from different perspectives, right? Like, honestly, between you and spirit, it's kind of like you're very Knight of Pentacles. You are one foot in front of the other, followed by another one, followed by another one. Out. Today, spirit says we're going this way. All right, we're going this way. Okay, that's who you are. You trust your intuition. Okay, how you function, right? You do uphold tradition, though. You protect and you honor. That's what I find is so interesting, because those kind of words are attached to this card, to the medallion. You will bind yourself to agreements, and you honor your word in those, but you expect other people to honor their word in those agreements. Wow, justice. Yeah. Diplomatic. Charming. all the things that I've written on here. But the truth too. I mean, that's the truth. To be truthful through your words. I look at marriage, partnership, charming, communicative, charismatic, diplomatic. Coming up with diplomatic solutions, things that are fair for everyone, right? Things that are fair for everyone. You could have been in a situation or a relationship where things were not fair for everyone, and maybe that was mostly you. I don't know. But something very curious with that. That's how you function. And what you've overcome is the vessel to maintain stability and strength and grace, while you overcome a major life assessment, figuring out what the hell it is that you need to build up in your life, what you need to dismantle, and what can be repaired. The Eight of Wands. Wow, you've overcome possibly, some of you have perhaps had a lot of change. You may have experienced a lot of change. You may have experienced a lot of moving around. Some of you could also be, I want to say, because you have this stone, like who you are is the stone. Not to be too impulsive, just to like really hold back at times and just see where that takes things in your life. You've overcome, I want to say, you've either overcome a lot of chaos and movement in your life, or you've overcome doing things without a plan and just going with the flow. All right. Who the other is? Who the other is? Tear. The Six of Swords, or sorry, the Seven of Swords. Whoa. Okay. I want to say, for one thing, I feel like this person hides a lot of their emotion. This person hides it well. I wonder what the Seven of Swords is directed towards, because there's something here that this person is either, they may even be trying to create fear, or they're just conquering their own fears. I want to say this person is probably up to something. What it is. We're going to look into that. That's interesting because this is a moon in Aquarius. Or sorry, Mercury in Aquarius. And then this is the moon in Aquarius. So I will say this, because this is, with Mercury, this is like, where does God take you? Where are the messages from God taking you, right? With this. Mercury being the messenger of the gods. And Aquarius can be humanitarian. It can be, well, that's true too. It can be very non-traditional. And that's the thing. There's been some sort of break from tradition here. But the moon, with the moon in Aquarius and fears, this person could be going through some type of fears for sure, that about tradition being broken down. So how does this person function? The bow. The Ace of Swords. Just literally, I don't know. There's something about this energy, right? Where it's just like, if you've signed the contract, that's the truth. That's what it is. But true, right, having the Seven of Swords is deceptions and fears. There's... Yeah, I'm actually, like, I'm having a bit of, I don't know, maybe because myself, I kind of feel like, I think most of us probably feel like that though, right? Like if somebody said something, the way I kind of worded it in that contract, like, yeah, you're going to have that in small writing because, yeah, I don't know, like if you're having a wall knocked out, what if we discover in there that you have lead plumbing in that wall? We're going to have to take that out and put like copper or PVC, whatever the hell they put in this shit these days, right? So we don't know what that would cost. But this person, it's almost like just because you signed it, okay, I know that this price may not stay exactly the way this is, or that this job may not take this amount of time because of unforeseen circumstances or weather. But neither one of those are actually what is, you know, the reason that either the price is increased or this has taken much longer to do. But this person's like, no, that's the contract. That's the contract. You signed it. Okay, what do they think of you? The Seed, right? The Five of Pentacles. That's so interesting because, I mean, I want to say that they do feel that there's distance between you and them. They, based on this Seed card, they think that you have a lot more potential that they haven't even seen yet. That's the other thing. You know, I'm curious to pull out a card that sits between your two energies. The Knight of Swords is at the bottom. I'm going to do that. Okay, what's the card that sits, like the energy that sits between these two? go. The mountain. That's very interesting. Well, there you go. There's a mountain between you and this person. The maiden is at the bottom. The maiden. The father on this. Oh, the healer. I thought it said the father. I was like, there's a father. The healer. It's on the side, though. The maiden. So whether you're masculine or feminine, I want to say you've probably come through, you've learned a lot about people, maybe even through your connection with this person. The mountain is what sits between you and them. The mountain stands eternally in our awareness, calling us toward its peak. It stirs up stoic and regal feelings, reminding us of the long line of spirits, sages, sadhus, and gods that made their humble thrones within its snowy peak. Beware, though, as the mountain can affect us in two ways. It can inspire and enliven us to rise to new heights and peak experience. Yet it can also create isolation, competitiveness, and an inflated sense of self. Standing upon its heights can activate the pursuit and the perfectionist in us, creating separation from those we deem to be below. No matter how high you ascend, remember that it is within the core of the mountain that the gems, minerals, and jewels reside. If you think it's all about going up, you're following the fool's path and missing the miner's magic. So that's interesting because you are the stone. I want to say to some degree you've probably gone into the mountain, but there's two, you both have to approach a mountain here, both of you, and the mountain is between you. And it's something that you both have to overcome. But I feel like how you view the mountain and your approach to it is both very different between you and this person, likely as well. This is about the ascent, the peak, the unsurmountable. When it's in the light, grounded in the eternal, steadfast and uplifting. I described you, right? The stone is steadfast. Okay, when it's dark, ominous, daunting, isolating, and frigid. Contemplate Joseph Campbell's suggestion, you are the central mountain, and the central mountain is everywhere. Research mountains, find one that strikes you, and stare at it for a while. Where is it? The pilgrim may be awakening in you. The summit calls. But wow, that's interesting too, because I want to say the vessel would represent kind of going through that process. So that's that. I'm going to go do the extended. In the extended, I'm going to use this archetype deck as well. What is your truest path? What you really need to know about yourself, and what you misunderstand about the other. Put that in there. Thank you so much, everyone. Until next time, be gentle with yourselves. Bye.